So there's another video. I ran the most dangerous computer viruses on my computer. I thought this was interesting. I'm a cybersecurity major, so it's really interesting to me to look at the viruses and how they work. So I figured we'd check out this video. I've seen a lot of middle high videos and I enjoy them, so I wanted to see how this one's doing.
Gals, me Mutahar, and you know, one of my favorite things to do on this channel is playing around with computers and viruses and making computers blow up and destroy. Now,
Yes,
ladies and
that is
gentlemen,
fun.
something that I always have a fascination with is virtual machines. As you all know, when it comes to me and using anything on my system, I use VMs all the time. And from time
VMs
to
are
time, you
useful
have to
to test
spring
out new
clean,
stuff.
okay? You basically restart from scratch, roll back, clean up your computer from time to time. Now, normally I could just right click and delete one of these, but I feel it's always imperative and better on my channel to basically take these things out to the digital sunset, run some malware on them, show you exactly how to destroy a system from the inside.
If I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna be somewhere where I cannot be connected to the internet because I'm afraid that I will accidentally connect to the internet for whatever reason and everything is just flood through my internet. Because VMs are not exactly safe to have. Like they can still infiltrate through the VMs. It just because you're in a VM does not mean running viruses is always safe on that system.
Side out. And I'm not talking about deleting System 32.
Oh,
I'm
that's fun
talking
to
about
do.
running all forms of payloads that causes Windows, specifically in this case, to shutter down and die. So a while back, I
That's
made
always fun.
videos where I ran things like the MEMS virus. This will have to be like a couple years ago at this point. And running those kind of viruses basically made it so that, it would launch crazy visual effects on your system.
Also, I feel like I have to say this: do not do this at home. This will hurt you. This will get you in trouble if you do this. You will probably end up having so many viruses on your computer. You probably end up messing up your whole internet. Anything could happen. You have data leaks, all that stuff. Do not do this unless you exactly know what you're doing. I wouldn't even do it if you knew what you're doing. Honestly.
Systems, but in some cases, a lot of those viruses are made for, meme purposes. They were made to basically, blow your system up, but you could effectively recover.
Oh, it's always fun
things.
blowing up your
Today,
system, but I would not
viruses
recommend
that
it.
are actually designed to destroy systems. So, for instance, one of the malwares in this case is Sigma. Use this wisely. This malware can destroy your system.
Exactly.
Use a
This is why I say don't.
when running,
Do
like
not
a virtual machine.
mess with this.
I am not responsible for any damage made to your host system with this malware.
I'm not responsible either.
For YouTube
You do this at your own discretion. There's nothing to do with me.
link any of these malwares just because I don't really want to be breaking. I believe I think there is a rule for spreading malware on YouTube.
Yes.
All I can really
do
do
not
is show
down.
you. I can't really exactly show you how to obtain this stuff, nor would I really want to. I think for a
Don't
lot
even
of
look
people
for
who
it.
just want to play around with this, I
Don't
want
do
you
it.
to understand this can, in fact, harm and destroy your computer.
Yes, that's what I was
run
saying.
these things with absolute care. Me, on the other hand, I really don't care, so I'm going to run these things under a virtual machine that I'm prepped to destroy. So here I've got a virtual
I wouldn't do it
machine
even
with
prep.
old-fashioned things playing
I wouldn't
around.
mess
It's
with
got
it.
a lot of
I would be
ROMs,
the most
and
controlled.
obviously I want to consider.
You have to be in the most controlled environment possible for me to even touch any of those. Yes, you never know what's inside.
Steal some of this evidence from the Nintendo lawyers and ninjas. So what I'm going to do is launch our good friend Bonzi Buddy right over here. Now, I didn't know this, but somebody on itch.io actually made like an updated version of Bonzi Buddy.
They can do that on itch.io
or something, but if you wanted to have a digital pet on your system, you actually can in the year 2024.
Oh, that's like that. Oh yeah, that's the pink gorilla.
So compared to the last time we had him on the channel, where I ran him under like Windows XP, this is like a version of him.
I was like, something seems familiar about it.
My system ready to annoy us. So first things first, when it comes to any
you play
form
Confinto Pet, it's basically the same thing. But one's a game, this one's not a game.
What you want to do is you want to make sure you go to your virus and threat protection on Windows, and you want to turn that all the way off. Okay, if you don't turn this off, Windows is going to protect you actually and get rid of Sigma.
That was tricky.
To actually prevent you from running some of these software.
You go to the dentist because he lost his filling.
Okay. The laughing was that him or?
Please stop
Wait.
downloading this.
Did he do the last thing, or was that the Confinto pet thing?
Software. So obviously we're going to keep this stuff. And again, this shows you that running malware isn't exactly the easiest thing in the year 2024 because there's a lot of actual stopgaps that you have that prevent you from launching some of this stuff. So for instance, right here at Sigma, one thing you'll notice, anytime a software has a little shield next to it, that means it wants admin privileges.
Yep.
You should never be given
Never.
any software
Never.
admin privileges unless you absolutely
That
have
is
to. You're installing a driver,
suicide.
maybe you have to give it
Computer
to them. Are you
suicide.
running a game
Sorry
that
if you
you
hear the
downloaded
noise.
from an
That was my bad.
unsavory website? Absolutely don't do it. Don't be downloading games unsavory either.
Nope.
So, yeah,
Don't do
malicious
it.
file. This application may cause damage to your device. Sensitive personal data may also be at risk. I don't really give a shit. Let's actually run this and see how bad things really get. And obviously, I'm going to turn down the audio a little bit just because I don't know if this contains loud noises. But if anything kills Bonzi Buddy, I'm excited. You're about to run a malware. Use this malware wisely. This will cause data loss and make your computer likely unbootable. If you don't know what this
Was Bonsai Buddy a malware back in the day, or was this just an assistant? Or did like people turn into a malware? Yeah, I'm gonna look that up. Oh, it was spyware. That's what it was. I remember. I read up on this lawsuit. I couldn't remember what it was. Yeah, I was wrong. It was Canito Pad, not Confinto. I don't know why I said Confinto.
program do, just click no to keep your computer safe. By clicking yes, the malware will start and you'll understand the risk. If you want to try this, use a virtual machine.
Epilepsy warning, by the way.
Let's go. So hit yes. Final warning. Yeah, of course. This is the nicest malware in existence. Usually
this is. They won't tell you.
You see a little bit of you see a command prompt, and next thing you know, your data is all gone.
Yep.
Mother-in-law whose visit never ends.
Okay. Ooh, it's shaking up.
Oh, right.
So you can see right now, everything's getting all blurry in the background. There's like a weird audio cue playing.
This is literally meant for me. You gotta notice. Like, when you get a virus or malware, it's not gonna do this to your system. This is literally meant to just be fun for your system. I still wouldn't do it. You never know what you just open up. They could have just infected you with something. You never even know.
Bonzi Buddy is actually legit dying. And I guess if you try moving things around, it's not...
Oh my god, look at that.
Well. And, Bonzi Buddy's still scanning stuff. Oh, okay, alright. We got red screens.
Got jump scared.
This, I swear to god, if you ran on somebody's system, it would...
Dude, I would get so annoyed looking at this as a wallpaper. Oh my god, that hurts.
So let's try to clear up the red here a little bit. Alright, things seem to be pretty fine. We can't open up the task manager. Things are grayed out. Interesting.
It's not you open task manager, so you can't actually stop it.
File browser here.
Oh my.
Oh,
5 minutes after launch.
It's turning into a fucking nightmare right now. Okay, things are giving me scan lines.
So yeah, when you generate a malware, this is not what you're gonna see. This is literally entertainment. Usually when you get malware, it's usually them stealing information from you or blocking out your system, which is known as Trojan horse. Well, Trojan. But it came from the Trojan horse name, obviously. So this is not what usually will happen. Let's use this, you download some random file that's meant to mess up your system like he did. This is not what usually is gonna happen to you.
I'm actually surprised how long Bonzi Buddy still continues.
He's still there. That's funny.
Now, when it comes to destructive malwares like this, a lot of these actually exist that require administrative privileges to be highly destructive. So one of them is this MostQ Epic, which again, if you download this will actually very much destroy the system that it's on. So Sigma,
I believe him.
Didn't decide to kill everything yet, but of course, as you can see, every single one of these computer malwares that exist has a lot of protection to basically make sure that you're as safe as you can.
Okay.
And you really have to try to...
I'm pretty sure it's the pet, what's it called, the Bonsai Buddy. I'm pretty sure that thing is making the noises. The laugh track in the background, that's from the Bonsai Buddy.
You get infected. So here we'll launch this one right here. Now, of course, we're going to run this thing as a full-on system administrator, and we're going to give this a destructive version right here. How many GDIs will run at the same time?
This looks
Just hit yes
awful.
to it. This will overwrite the
It's like
MBR
it's about to
of the
run like
precursor
a
in active Windows. Now,
like
what the
in
MBR is the
uh,
master boot
a
record,
really
meaning that
janky
once
game.
we run this, okay, the system will not function, all right? It's probably going to corrupt a whole bunch of system stuff anyways. You could theoretically reinstall the bootloader, but there's not going to be much gained out of it. Oh, goddamn. We got crazy anime and everything right here.
Look at that.
I just think what I'm seeing here is not supposed to be okay visually. Like, look at this stuff. It's absolutely sending some crazy shit in the frame buffer. It is just
That is weird.
in this Windows install. And of course, you can see that you saw some deletion right there. It's opening up pages, moving things around, checking the elements.
Wait, is it downloading something? Wait. Do you guys see that? It literally looks like it's about to download something.
You saw some deletion right there. It's opening up pages, moving things around, checking the elements.
That's not him. His mouse is right here. But that looks insane.
Whoa. You just see ghosts in hell floating around. God damn. I don't think there's any way you can save it. It's just like hitting random keys, corrupting stuff, moving anime around the screen. Now, obviously,
yeah, this looks
yeah,
you have to reset this.
Let's go to power and like reset the guest here. Dude. It's actually it just keeps playing different like audio tracks here.
That's
like,
so annoying.
See how it just opens up in the corner, like it messes up the entire like frame buffer. All right, constantly keeps changing color values in around these objects. You can see like how languages are changed on the screen.
Oh yeah, it went to Japanese.
And again, like I don't even know when this is supposed to end. Like I have no idea when this is supposed to be gone.
Dude, look at that! Like, imagine you try to pirate a game and you open it up and this is what happens to you. You go to some janky website, try to download the game for free, and this is what happens to you.
Data moshing into itself. Jesus. Alright, let's go to power reset the guest here real quick, because I actually want to see how things can get. Now this is setting a system reboot with again, I want to actually
reboots.
I want to do like a force.
Reboots can generally fix issues like this, but the problem is, it can get into I think it's the memory, the volatile memory. I don't remember if that deletes beforehand or after, but it'll stay in memory where if you reset the system, it'll still be there. It'll run when you get back in.
Give me one. Oh wait. Oh, yes, I got the blue screen. Critical
blue screen of death. That's funny.
The whole thing is dead. Now I think it's just gonna do a little quick memory collection, maybe a little data dump. Let's fire it up, see how bad things have really gotten. So as you can see, Windows Boot Manager, no media. It's relying on like.
Did delete Windows?
Everything is gone. The whole data is the whole like virtual hard drive. Anything to do with the EFI partition, it's all just gone.
That's funny. That's real funny.
Okay, like it's just over at this point. And that, ladies and gentlemen, is how you kill a virtual machine on your system in style. Now,
that's funny.
If you wanted to recover data, I don't believe this might have actually harmed anything. If you can mount the original, like, virtual machine data or even the hard drive.
Now, there's a chance that it unmounted the drive. So, in your Windows, what is it called? I forget what the menu's called, but basically you can go in there and like unallocate space or allocate space. So there's a chance that it could have done that. I highly, highly doubt it, but there's a good chance it could have.
Physically, you should be able to pull your data back.
It might have just corrupted everything. That's probably what most likely will happen.
Underneath this like virtual machine that I made, this other like Linux one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go to the actual like the Windows directory that I had, the Windows virtual machine, and I'm actually gonna mount.
If I'm ever going to do something like this, I'll buy a burner laptop, and then inside the laptop I'll literally have a virtual machine, and then I'll be in the middle of nowhere, so it can't mess with my system because I will not be connected to any internet or any Wi-Fi, anything like that.
the disk drive of that virtual machine, just so we can actually start to look through what has effectively kind of happened. So we're gonna basically mount that underneath this separate operating system and just kind of see if we can poke around the structure and see just what broke and what didn't break because of that destructive malware we just ran. Now, unfortunately, in this situation, it really seems like whatever virus that I ran, and I actually ran the Sigma, and I ran that one Anime 1 virus, the MoQ, I believe. And there was a couple other things that also did run on that system. And mounting that drive onto a different operating system, you can see that I got a 54 gigabyte hard drive. And unfortunately, it's registering as just complete free space.
Yes,
Meaning
yeah.
whatever has been
So it did do it. It actually says unaccolated everything. It deleted everything on the drive. Wiped it clean, basically.
done to it has corrupted it actually beyond belief. And I'm not going to look too deeper into it. I did mount this underneath another Windows installation and got absolutely nothing out of it. So in this situation, if you actually had some really important files that were supposed to be stored here,
It's gone.
what appears to be this surface level, it's gone. Now, obviously, you can use deeper ways. You can actually open these things up directly underneath your host operating system.
But to the average person, it's gone.
Try to pick through something, but at this point, I would consider if you had anything of value on this drive, it's probably all gone.
Even if you could go back and look deeper, it would probably be so corrupted at this point that's probably not even gonna be worth getting out. That's just a heads up. Like, even if this does happen and you lost maybe like 20 gigs of files you needed for something, it's probably all gone. You're probably never getting that back.
Things that I think it's worth showing is obviously for a lot of Linux users, you probably might have considered switching over, and you might also be playing video games underneath Linux. Now, a lot of that is done through something known as Proton, but more
okay. What's stopping me from getting Linux is that most games don't work on Linux. A lot of games don't work properly. If I want to play, he plays Rainbow Six Siege all the time. He says he cannot play on Linux because they did not allow it. If I want to play Rainbow Six Siege, then I can't play it. Windows is just better for gaming in general because that's all the compatibility it needs already built in. You don't have to mess around with some janky mess or anything like that. Everything you need right there. All you need Steam, Epic Games, GOG. It's all already working straight out.
Specifically Wine, which is a compatibility layer. So I kind of wanted to run some of these viruses and see just how wild it can get underneath the Linux operating system.
That is actually interesting.
Layer. Now, mind you, do not do this on your host system. Do not do this on anything.
Yeah, do not do that anything.
Understanding exactly what it is that you're doing.
Even if you actually understand it, do not even do it. He's doing this for entertainment and educational purposes. That's different than just doing it for fun. Well, he's probably just doing it for fun too, but that's how I mean. He's doing this for educational purposes. He's posting on YouTube so people can see how this stuff affects a system in a safe environment. I would not attempt this anywhere, even if you know what you're doing. I would still rather not mess with this. He doesn't care, so I mean that's just me, my opinion on it. I would not mess with it unless you have to. Maybe trying to find a way to have your system detect it and remove it. Maybe you look at a big company and you try to do that. That's different. But for general, I would not mess with this.
You can't run exe files underneath Linux. It'll ask you, hey, it's for Windows systems or EFI programs. So what you're going to be doing is installing something known as Wine, and underneath Ubuntu, it's actually quite easy.
Oh, yes.
You open up the terminal, you type in sudo apt update, which again, we just do this, give it a little password. We basically let it update all of its package list, and then we do sudo apt install wine64 and we hit a little yes to that. It'll install Wine and it'll give us a chance to download some of those actual filthy pieces of malware. So in this situation, what I'm going to do is open up GitHub real quick.
I had to take a class. It's required for my degree. I had to take a class on Linux. I had to get in a class, and man, that professor was all about Linux. I swear. He loved Linux. He would make jokes about Windows anytime he could. It was funny. But again, After like week 4, it was so old. He just kept going and going.
To download some of the exact pieces of malware that we just used. So once you got Wine up and running, you can see that I basically got a Windows exe functioning, the Steam setup right here. Now what happens if underneath this compatibility layer do you decide to launch that MEMS virus that I initially wanted that caused absolute pandemonium? So if we fire up the actual run exe inside the prefix, I'm going to go to the downloads folder, go to a clean version of MEMS, which obviously doesn't contain the destructive malware component, and I'm going to launch the exe and kind of show you how things go. So for instance, if you open up random websites, it will say the payload is considered harmful. So you're actually
I do like how you call it filthy, filthy Windows viruses.
terminal and just break
Basically
input
meaning it
right
won't
here.
work on Linux.
Now, if you go to the tunnel effect, you can see that it's not actually functioning. If you go to screen glitches, it's not actually functioning. If I do Shift Escape here, it doesn't seem like anything is functioning. It just tries to load up a bunch of different web pages, but because it's underneath, because it's underneath this translation layer, it might be able to succeed in some things, like message boxes seem to be working, like still using this computer. So look, some of the actual payloads
Yeah,
are still
it's
functioning.
programmed
Now, what if we
differently,
ran
and
some
it's
of the more
also probably
destructive
different
stuff
languages too.
underneath Wine? What if we ran the same shit that just killed my system, like sigma.exe? We said, yeah, go ahead, baby, fire that bitch up.
Now that's still
Of
working
course, you
though.
can see it says failed to overwrite bootloader. So it failed to actually overwrite a bootloader that really did not exist. Oh man, it's actually destroying this fucking system, dude. Let's download more. Why not? I love
It's
how it
not as
keeps
bad as
opening up pages like
it's not as bad as the
find
Windows,
recreational
but it's still
cannabis,
affecting the
come to my
system.
weed. How to send a virus to my friend, Bonzi Buddy, free download. So what you're learning over here is Windows Windows malware does have an effect underneath other operating systems to an extent when you're running, things like this, right? Now, obviously, the file system that Windows would operate under, right? Like, let's say you have a game installed, that might actually end up getting corrupted. So, for instance, if I go to that mocepic.game, why is it I'm not getting Half-Life 3. Let me download this malware.
Oh man, wait. So the virus opened up a tab to Half-Life 3. Man, that's insane, dude. You know how long people have been talking about Half-Life 3 for, and still nothing on it? Some people saying, I looked it up right now. Some people saying we might get something from September 30th. I doubt that's true, but we never know. That's just rumors. Hey, if it's coming around, I'll be happy. That's all I can
When we
say.
download the same one, it'll be like, yeah, that contains a virus. No, let it happen. Let it happen. We need all of this juicy stuff. And of course, if we go back to Lutris right here and just tell it, hey, let's launch that other malware right there too. Documents, or download, sorry, Moke Epic. And of course, it'll actually fire that up. And provided it hasn't like messed up any of these wine registries, which you can always just
Dude, that's
generate a
going
new
insane.
prefix. This
Imagine how those
should
pop-ups.
just
I'll be
basically
so
not work
annoyed.
anymore. Feels like I'm filming a fire
I'll
truck
literally
video
just
just
take the
run by
hard out and throw it away.
deadfish.exe. And of course, at this moment in time, it does. Oh wait, deadfish.exe actually did fire up. You can actually see it right there. I just don't know what it's bringing up though. Okay, wait, hold on. Can I see it? No, it opened up a terminal there. And I think at this point, it's pretty much done, okay? We've gotten way too many screens going. Dude, it's made so many windows. It's like literally making it lag. Fired up the whole
Oh
task
god.
manager right here. Jesus.
Look at that task
Okay,
manager.
this, ladies and gentlemen,
Look at that tiny
has
that
now
bar is.
locked
Hold
up.
on.
Right here.
Look at how tiny that bar is, dude. That's probably over like 100 tabs in there, maybe. Probably more than that.
Jesus. Okay, this, ladies and gentlemen, has now locked up the entire operating system. It's gone. Okay, it's
Yeah, it's probably
dead and over. Okay,
the
We
internet
have
probably
basically
or the
terminated
memory
this
is probably
actual Linux
over
installation.
max.
Now, obviously, if I restart the guest, basically I should be powering it off completely. It should actually just fire up, and basically whatever's in that wine prefix should be corrupted, and that pretty much is the extent of everything right here. Now, there were points where, companies like Virtua Girl existed way back in the day, and this is like a 2007 thing, where again, people would, instead of Bonzi Buddy, be downloading like virtual strippers to their system. And this is a
Why
period
would
of time
someone
where
do
if
that?
you were
Imagine
downloading this
someone
kind of stuff,
walked
where like
into your room and that
at the
happened.
time, 22 million something downloads that occurred.
I want to make sure this is not TOS. That's good.
There were a
Making
good
sure.
chance that somebody would stuff malware into crazy adult stuff like that just to steal credit card information or personal information in any variety.
Why would
But
someone
there was
down?
also a
Imagine
massive
someone
panic
walked
back in the day.
in
And
on
this is
you
way
and
into
all
the
they see is
2000s,
that.
typically during the 90s, when, of course, news media started to pick up on computer viruses. I want to play a little news clip that actually brings a fucking tear to my eye. Based on how stupid it is. Listen to this shit. Listen to the crazy pandemonium right here.
Virus that has owners of IBM personal computers worried it might send their PCs to sickbeds. An electronic virus is information or instructions added on to a legitimate computer software program by hackers. Most commonly, the virus will wipe out instructions or
There was also the
stored
I
on
love
that
you
computer disk.
virus
Told spreading
that
the
sent
virus is
emails to like
easy. It
everybody.
happens when people share their computer programs, oftentimes over telephone lines.
So people who share programs either by
Who would do such a
pirating
thing?
or over a computer network will propagate the virus until somebody writes a program that seeks and destroys this virus.
Oh, you hear that? Shouldn't be downloading shit onto the internet. Are you sharing video games? You engaging in that piracy? Well, you might be exposing yourself
I just
to
made a joke about that earlier.
crime. So yeah, this is like sorry, not early, but late 80s. And if you actually looked into it, data crime was introduced when an infected file is transferred and executed. Now, obviously, for things like piracy, what that guy said is true to an extent. Like, if you download any form of pirated content on the internet, there is sometimes an expectation if you download it from really unsavory locations.
Yes, that's what I was saying
earlier.
earlier.
Exposing yourself to some serious computer malware. And of course, when you actually looked into this exact file right here, this virus, which is 1,480 bytes long, that was a lot back in the day, can infect exe files. It replaces.
It is insane how that's a lot back in the day, but now it's like snap of the finger, it's downloaded. Like literally, download, done. That probably took them like 20, 30 minutes back in the day to download.
The original message was Data Crime 2 virus. Only the first 42 bytes are left unencrypted, and the message is severely encrypted. The bugs in the formatting function have been fixed. This is like just a variant that occurred too, but the original one, the virus replaces the first 3 bytes of the target's program code, with its own code pointing to the virus's body, which appends itself to the end of the file. The original 3 bytes of the program are stored in the virus's body. If an infected file is run after October the 13th, the virus displays the encrypted text, Data Crime Virus Released. And that's pretty much how it ended up functioning. And of course, this was enough to get on the news at the time. But one of the cool things about, destructive viruses back in the day is that they were a lot more descriptive. Things were a lot more reminiscent of the MEMS virus. For instance, LSD.com.
Oh my
a
god.
DOS virus that would absolutely
Oh, I think I've seen
take
this.
your computer to town. I mean, to see this back on a computer display would blow anybody's mind, okay? An MS-DOS-based virus that wasn't just something on a command line. One of my personal favorite viruses, and one that I absolutely love, is known as Q Casino, where basically the actual person generating the virus makes you play a game, all right? Kind of like Jigsaw, where it's like, I have just destroyed the FAT on your disk, which is the file allocation.
Ah, that sucks, doesn't it?
I have a copy in RAM. I'm giving you a last chance to restore your precious data. If you reset now, all your data will be gone. So basically, you have 5 credits right over here. All right, you press any key to play, and hopefully, you might win. Okay, so let me just give this a couple tries. All right, okay, haven't won yet. Haven't got the actual jackpot. Okay, let's go one more time. Come on now. Come on. Give me 3 pounds. And there it is. You asshole, you've lost. Say bye to your balls. No, I've never actually won at the casino. And that's just the reality. The house always wins. You shouldn't really be surprised.
I have the worst RNG ever, so I never gamble. I know I'm going to lose.
Like this is MarsG.com, and you can see that it looks pretty creative. Like it's a 3D kind of rendering, almost like a Mode 7 rendering of like a world. And yeah, even if your data is lost, at least you get to see what is a pretty cool effect on your DOS system back then. I know now some people may not be excited about this, But in the days of DOS, there were people literally jizzing their
Now,
pants if they.
if you do want to mess around with viruses in a safe location, this does look like a safe place to do it. I still wouldn't mess with it, but if you really couldn't help yourself, it's probably the best scenario to do that.
Came across stuff like that. Remember those who died for Madrid?
There is websites that have viruses for teaching purposes. That's how companies or new cybersecurity guys like me go in and learn. I go into those websites and look at the viruses they post and see if there's a way to defend it or see what it attacks or see if I can use it on a system to see if it attacks it and breaks in. What does it grab? What does it do? There is like to defend something, you need to know how it works basically. So there's safe ways to do it. Companies do hire people to do it too, if you're interested in that.
This is back in like 1996, and of course the fire effects and DOSBox is absolutely beautiful. And again, all these viruses are very destructive. They're designed to effectively destroy your system. But I will say, for viruses back then, at least you got to see cool stuff, whether it be Mode 7 visuals, 3D effects, or in this case, a pretty convincing fire effect for DOS era days. This is absolutely gorgeous. How do they do the Star Wars scroll on DOS?
That's amazing.
See, all of this stuff is just impressive. Okay, all this stuff, like from a destructive point of view, yeah, I'd be pissed that I lost all of my information, all my documents or whatever. But God,
yeah, I'd be pissed too.
At least I get this. Nowadays, the most creative a virus will get is like memes, or at least you get like Bonzi Buddy, or in some cases it'll just be ransomware where all your files are gone, strings are encrypted, but you never get cool stuff like this anymore. But ladies and gentlemen, as I've murdered these entire packages, one thing is to understand, obviously with computer viruses, you should be 100% safe and you should be very careful. I ran some viruses that absolutely destroyed virtual machines I wanted dead anyways. But yeah, this is a pretty fun way for me to do some spring cleaning, to also show you the extent of some really cool pieces of malware that are out there. And also I wanted to show you how some of these Windows viruses also ran underneath Linux, which is, to say, somewhat relatively destructive. But yeah, you shouldn't be running viruses. You should be very careful on how you do this stuff going forward. But
yes,
yeah,
do not mess with
I think
viruses.
for me, virus investigating, and one of the things about that series is that doing it, I always like looking at the visually impressive viruses. Yeah, it's cool to have a system destroyed, but at least be entertaining while you're destroying my livelihood and data. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, never run these on your main system. I hope that goes without saying.
Do not.
Be very careful on the Wild West that is the internet. Stay strapped with a good antivirus. If you need that.
I like that. Stay strapped in your antivirus.
Do the trick for you. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Just like if you dislike, I am out.
So, when it comes to antivirus, Windows Defender, don't waste your money on anything else. You do not need Mac. I forgot how you're supposed to pronounce it, but you don't need anything else besides what's it called, Windows Defender. You don't need no VPN. You don't need any of that unless you're trying to access stuff outside of state or country, whatever. That's the only time you need a VPN, but you still never need an antivirus besides Windows Defender or whatever stock you have. As long as you're not going out of your way to access stuff you're not supposed to access, you will be fine.